Okay.
Rolling from all perspectives.
Cool. So I'm here today with Shane Burrows from BingeNinja. How are you doing today, Shane?
I'm doing fantastic. I just want to start off by thanking you and all of the Dropout staff, because you guys have been fantastic to us. I think I met you about a year ago, as it stands, or a little over a year ago.
Somewhere in there.
And I mean, you guys have been promoting our videos online. You've been setting us up with all these interesting shows in the city. Yeah, you've just been really, really supportive. So I just want to thank all you guys for helping us out and just being an outlet for indie bands, not just in the GTA, but all of Canada. And just keep doing what you're doing, man. I really, really, really appreciate what you guys are doing. So I wanted to make sure you guys knew that.
That's so kind of you, man.
Right
You
on.
are the best. That's
Right on, man. Right on.
I don't think anybody's done that at the start of an interview.
Cheers!
So cheers.
So what's up? What are we getting into?
Yeah, well, let's talk about you a little bit. So yeah, for fans of the site, we have been keeping up with you, so they kind of know what's the past kind of stuff. Tell us about new stuff, like what's currently going on with BingeNinja.
Yeah, well, we were talking a little bit before the interview.
I wish they could have heard that, though. Good conversation before we had the camera.
Yeah, that's always the way it goes, right? Yeah, our record Teratoma, I mean, we released it about a year and a half ago, but we had a conversation about the fact that records are really tough, because a lot of the younger kids, they like to latch on to like a song or a couple of songs if you've made a video or, you've done some sort of push for a song, and then they'll put it on their playlist with a whole bunch of other artists. It's, listening to a whole record the whole way through, all the songs, kind of with your headphones on, is a bit of a lost art, I think. And Teratoma is a record that we fully believe in still, and we think that every song like has merit. So we've released about 5 videos from that record. I'm thinking we're just going to continue on to push the record because we still really believe in it. We're still getting a lot of really great responses when we play live. So I think we're going to continue to film and let some of the writing for the new whatever it is just kind of happen organically. And just kind of take it from there, I don't want to oversell the record, but as I said, we still believe in it. We still play the songs live, so I want to make sure that we do it justice. And it's not the most popular thing to continue to promote a record 2 years in. I mean, records get lost a couple of months in nowadays, but we're really proud of it, so we're going to continue to push it. And I think there's a lot of live shows on the horizon, and as I said, you guys, Dropout, and a bunch of other indie companies that are starting to really put a lot of shine on indie artists in the GTA are giving a lot of due and a lot of promotion for people that are passionate about music that don't necessarily have those outside establishments to help them out. So we're going to continue to do that.
Cool. Yeah, you're mentioning live shows. You guys do live shows like crazy. Like you guys gig, it seems like nonstop. I feel like every week my Facebook has got a new BingeNinja show going on. Can you talk about why gigging and doing live stuff is so important to you?
It can be a bit of a double-edged sword, for sure, especially if you're playing a lot in Toronto. Because I think a lot of the Toronto audience is very scene-oriented. So, a lot of people come to the same shows. So if you're playing a lot of shows in the city or the GTA, people are kind of like, oh, those guys are playing again, or I've already seen them, or whatever. But for us, I think not only do we play a lot of shows because we want to stay sharp live, like we want to make sure that the live show is as like energized as possible and that we're on point, but also we're very conscious of what bands we're playing with and what kind of shows we're playing. So we make sure that we get involved in situations where we know the audience is going to be different, where we know it's not just going to be like our friends and our band's friends that we've played with a billion times. We want to get on bills with like bands that are way different from us that have a whole different audience. We just recently played in the East End of Toronto, and we played with a really kind of like traditional rock style band, and there was a lot of kids coming up after the show just like, wow, I didn't expect to see like a band like you guys, you know, and like, wow, you guys really blew me away, and that's the kind of stuff that really like keeps us going and kind of piques our interest in continuing to play a lot of shows, because you know, you can be really frivolous and lose a little bit of momentum if you play too much, I find, in the same areas. But I think if you're conscious of who you're playing for, and you know, if you're playing in different venues and different parts of the city, you can develop a different fan base that wouldn't necessarily have been turned on to you otherwise. So yeah, that's why we do it.
Cool. Cool. We're in the middle of Canadian Music Week right now, so there's shows going on all over the city. Any bands you're excited to check out, or anything you're going to for that?
You know what? This is another part of a conversation that we had before the cameras were rolling. But you know, when it comes to things like Canadian Music Week and Indie Week and all those sorts of things, I mean, we're a band that has always been underground. We've always been very fringe in terms of the material that we do. Our songs are very like dissimilar. Like we don't have a specific genre, so it's really tough for big corporations or big organizations like Indie Week and CMW to latch onto a band like us and promote us. They want to, I think, put certain shows together, put certain bands in boxes. So I mean, I think there's a good side and a bad side to those sorts of things. It's like, I think that there's an element of like really great things happening in terms of bands coming to the city and being turned on to the Toronto audience that wouldn't normally have that opportunity. So I think that's great about it. But at the same time, you know, the submission process and the whole pay to play thing, and I think a lot of indie bands that are coming up that have stars in their eyes that think that they're going to play you know, CMW and it's going to be amazing, and they pay their submission fee and they get accepted, and then they're playing at a venue on a Tuesday night at like 1:30 a.m. to nobody, you know. And I would just urge bands that are coming from out of town or bands in the city that are coming up to just be conscious of the fact that you can do it yourself. You know, there's a lot of awesome young promoters in the city and outside the city that can book shows, get you on shows with younger bands and people that are like-minded, and turn you on to audiences that are hungry for new stuff, you know? So, I mean, CMW, it's good for the city in a lot of ways. I mean, I could sit here and name off a bunch of bands that are playing that I'd like to see, but I just, you know, I think that it's something that we're kind of, we're a little iffy on, but I certainly wouldn't want to steer anyone away from being a part of it, because as I said, I think it's good for the city in a lot of ways, and I think it's any band that gets any kind of exposure is great. But as a young band who isn't like a premier band who they're putting on a great night in a great venue at a good time, just be careful about how you maneuver that situation, because you know, it's easy to get taken advantage of, I think, in those situations, whether or not those corporations mean to do that. I think it's a dangerous game to play, and if you're gonna play it, be smart about it and talk to the right people and make sure that if you're gonna get involved, network with the right bands, and make sure that like you can meet people that might be able to turn you on to touring, like, you know, getting your band on a tour in the future, or meeting some young kids that might want to take you along with them to a new city that you haven't played or something, you know, like take advantage and make sure that your band is getting what you need out of it. That you're not just giving everything for this, you know, this CMW veil of success per se.
Right.
Right.
Cool. That is an answer.
It's an answer. I gave you an answer.
Awesome, man. Your last music video, let's talk about that. It was a 10-year retrospective.
Yeah.
Put together from a decade's worth of Binge Ninja stuff. That's pretty amazing and not something that most people ever can do, right? And you said that's something that kind of stumbled upon, and that was like being at the right place, right time, knowing like, oh, let's talk about that video.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're huge advocates for like filming, producing, editing our own stuff. I mean, we've worked with a lot of people, and this is a situation where I would definitely love to give shout-outs. I mean, people like Sean Hook Carlton, Adam McRae, Colin Artinian. These are people that they're doing it for all the right reasons. I mean, they're filming with equipment and you know, blood, sweat, and tears for money that really is not necessarily worth what their output is. You know, it's just because they have a huge passion for music. And just to tie into my last answer, I think that's really important for bands to get involved with people who are passionate and who believe in you and aren't just doing it for the money. Because this particular video, it just so happened that Adam, who we've worked with countless times on videos, had this huge backlog of just live footage and behind the scenes footage of the videos that he shot with us and stuff. So, you know, he came to us with the idea like, hey, I've got all this stuff, you know, can we make something happen where like I can edit it all together? And I think it was a really awesome collaboration. Because, you know, we're friends, and it was rooted in friendship, and, you know, he was there for a lot of that stuff, and I think it just kind of, it shows that if you're a band, you need to think about what you want in the end. What is it that you're trying, what is your goal? What is your end game, you know? Is it to become this famous band and make a lot of money and be known and be on TV or whatever have you? Or is it because you want to continue to make art and continue to play shows and continue to be in a situation where you have these people around you who are going to help push your stuff and be passionate about it? And, you know, I think the video, it just, for us, it really highlighted all the amazing people that have helped us out along the way. And, you know, it's super endearing, and we're just very thankful that we have been able to exist for the last 10 years, and that people are still asking us to play shows and excited about our new records and videos. And we have amazing people like Dropout who are like, you know, posting our stuff and helping us out. It's very humbling. And on top of that, I mean, he's a great editor. I think it's a great video, and if you were to go on the Binge Ninja YouTube, I mean, you'll see we put a lot of our love and a lot of our time into, because we believe in it, you know. And I think if you're a band, you really need to believe in your music and your passion for art first, and then the other stuff, I believe, will come in time.
Yeah, you guys do lots of DIY videos. That's one of the beautiful things about Binge Ninja, is there's like, yeah, there's lots of visuals going on, and it's clearly things that are coming from passion. It's always you guys. It's always an authentic thing whenever you watch a Binge Ninja video. The one before was co-produced though by Mark Zuckerberg. Can you tell us about that video?
Yeah, I think, you know, a buddy of mine, my friend Gualberto Machado, he was on this kick where he was sending me a bunch of videos with the Facebook filters. and just like doing little funny skits and stuff like that. And so that's why we credited him on that video, because it kind of inspired me in a way. It was like, you know what, we give so much to these social media sites, and we give so much to all these various forms of like YouTube and all these media sites that are making all this money. I felt like it was time that we kind of flipped it on its head and kind of used their platform to further our art. You know what I mean? And so that's why it was kind of funny, you know, like when we said that Mark Zuckerberg produced it or whatever. It's like, well, we're using your filters now. If you're gonna use our pictures and you're gonna use our fan base to continue your platform, then we're gonna use, you know, your tools to do the same. And I think that was the main theme behind that video. And shout out to Burrow. I think it turned out really funny in a lot of ways too. And I think there's, you know, when you've been a band as long as us, you have to find the humor in a lot of things. You know, you have to have fun with it. It can't all be super serious, because I think our music, for the most part, is very serious, and we take it very serious. But when we, you know, take the visuals into account and take our fans into account, we want to make sure that we do make people smile and that we do have a little bit of fun with it. And you know, I think that every band should have a little bit of a spirit of sticking it to the man a little bit in it. And I think we did that with that video, and I hope that inspires other people to do the same, you know. Use what you have, you know, because if we can't hire a huge film crew and have all this expensive equipment, you know, we can't, but it's not going to stop us from making a video and doing what we want to do, you know. So I would hope that inspires other bands to do the same. And you know, it's just kind of like a fuck you to the industry in a way. You can bleep that out later if you want.
We'll put a Facebook filter over it.
Yes. Yeah, it was like a kitten.
Cool, man. Yeah, you touched on it a little bit. Do you want to talk about social media and music, though? I'm interested to hear your opinion on it, because it is an important thing. It's a terrible thing at the same time, but it's super necessary.
Yep.
What are your thoughts on music in relation to social media in 2019?
In 2019, it's a tough one, man. Yeah, it is necessary, especially if you want to get at the younger generation of music lovers, because I mean, those platforms are essential. They're on those all the time, and that's how people get noticed. And we've been in a situation where we tried to fight against that at first. You know, we were very hesitant to get on Facebook and all this sort of stuff. We wanted to do it ourselves, but I think it is necessary. It is essential, but I wouldn't necessarily be fooled by seeing bands who have like thousands of Facebook followers or thousands of Instagram followers, or, you know, there's so many outlets for paying for bots for likes and views and subscribers and stuff that I think it's important for people to remember that none of that really matters in the end. I mean, it doesn't for me and the people in my band, and I don't think it should matter if you come across a band you like, you see them live, or you've seen their video online, and then you go to their site and it's like, oh, they only have 400 followers. Like, I think we're at like 400 and something. But I mean, to me that doesn't matter, you know. To me it's like, you shouldn't discredit a band because they don't have like 15,000 followers. You know, you can be that next follower. You know, you can be the person that's helping that band out and that's coming to shows. And you know, we've always been a band that you know, people have come up to us afterwards and they've been like, oh, I saw your video, you know, or I was on your Facebook site the other day, and we're more than happy to like dap it up and have a drink with them at a show, you know. Like, we're absolutely against any sort of like rock star sensibilities. Like, we really want to be a band like of the people, by the people, for the people. So please come up to us, message us on our social media. We'll get right back to you. Like, even if it's just to say, hey man, that's awesome, like I like this song, whatever. It's like, we'll send you a video of us playing an acoustic version of that song or something. You know what I mean? Like we're really grassroots, like one fan at a time kind of band, you know. And I think that gets lost with the social media. I think it's you develop this kind of like anonymity it's false, right? You're trying to act like you're this big huge band because you have all these numbers. But, I mean, you go to your show and you're still playing to 20, 30 people, you know? So it's like, I think that people are really apt to use those social media sites to make themselves look like a different version of themselves. Whereas we try and do the opposite, you know? And we try and post videos of us playing live, even if they're not perfect, even if there's like a sour note or my voice isn't quite there, just to make people know that like, hey, we're out here doing this for real. And whoever's involved in our little pirate ship is real, you know? Like, we're not paying for views or bots or whatever. It's like we're really here, and the people that are supporting us are real people. So I'm hoping that kind of rubs off on some of the other bands, you know, because I think there needs to be a shift when it comes to social media. Just like the filters, you know? It's like putting a filter on your band, you know, making it look a little nicer, a little cooler and stuff.
Next from Facebook.
yeah. We're going to get kicked off Facebook for sure after this. Yeah, after this goes on. And I wouldn't even be upset about
it. So tell me about some of the gigs you got coming up. Where are you playing?
You know what? We've taken a break just because we did an extensive GTA tour. We played all over the GTA. We've been hooking up with some young guys, some promoters out in like Waterloo and London and Windsor, and like it's just been a blast. Like we've been playing places that you wouldn't think anyone is even out there, you know, and then show up to the gig and the place is packed. So like kids want music and kids want you to get out there. But for us, we kind of like, we made a run, and I think we're going to start focusing a little more on writing, and we're going to start focusing a little bit more on maybe filming some more videos, because like I said, I still believe in the record, I still believe in Teratoma, so I want to make sure that we give that it's the credit that's due for it. But I mean, in terms of moves playing live, I mean, hit us up. If you're a young promoter and you've got a basement open, we'll play it. You know, like we want to play for anybody and everybody, and we're ready for anything that comes up. And I think it's possible that we might be playing Dropout in the Park again this year. So look out for that in June.
I wasn't even hinting at that one, but that is coming, and he's going to be there.
We might be involved with Dropout this summer in Toronto, so that has to be said.
Awesome, man.
Yeah, we got a dog here. He hates me. I'm glad he held off this long.
Oh man.
The other dog loves me. There's two dogs. The other dog loves me. That one hates me. It's tall, new guy. I get it. Anyway.
Opposite of a shout out to Brosco.
Yeah. That's like the industry promoter right there. The other dog who I'm cool with is like the young promoter who's like willing to hang out and like actually talk about your record and like where you're going afterwards and hang out for a drink, you know, like that's what we're about, you know. We're, like I said, we like to be with the people. We certainly don't like take our stuff off stage and then go straight to our limo and like back to our hotel, you know what I mean? Like we're there for the night. We want to have fun, we want to meet the people, and we want to meet new bands and figure out how we can get everyone involved, you know. It's we're at a point now where it's not just about us. We're very conscious that we've been very lucky to get to where we are, and at the age that we are, it's a responsibility on us to impart that knowledge onto younger bands and to help production companies that are like-minded and trying to do the same thing. So you know, our work is not done, that's for sure. You know, I mean, we've had a lot of fun along the way. We've had a lot of ups and downs as it usually goes, but our mission statement is still the same. You know, like we want to make great art, we want to perform it, and we want to share it with other people, and we want to make sure that other bands that are like-minded, you know, get the same opportunity. And if we can help in any way, then we're going to do that.
Awesome. Well, that's a much better answer than I could have expected for your favorite band. So I think we're gonna leave the questions there.
This interview has been brought to you by Pilsner.
Before we cut this off here, do you got any last message to share with your fans? Anything you want to say to the people watching?
Is it giving away too much if we say that we are in the midst of finalizing a merchandising situation with Dropout?
No, I don't think so. That's a cool Binge
not,
Ninja news piece.
Yeah,
people don't know about it yet, but that's a good.
We've been very lucky. You know, there's an opportunity coming up. We're gonna have some merch. We're working together with Dropout with these guys, so expect some big things in terms of that. We're really excited about that. Like I said, you know, new show opportunities. Dropout in the Park this summer is going to be awesome, bigger and better. You actually have like a license this year.
Yeah, it's actually going to be legal this year. We're not just
playing, looking over our shoulder. So that's all exciting stuff, you know. And like I said, like we want everyone to grow. You guys, us, and let's bring some other people up along the way. So if you're a young band, and you know you wanna give as much as you get, then get in touch with Dropout, man. And if you're a promoter, get in touch with us. We'll play a show, and just do it for the right reasons, there, kids. You know, look out for the people that are about the dollars, because if you're in it for the dollars, then you might as well hang it up right now. Be passionate, be strong. And don't take shit from anybody. Keep your eyes open, and we'll see you out there on the road.
Awesome.
Thanks so much, man. Thanks, brother.